It's a heartbreaking story that we've been covering for weeks. The death of Fenville star basketball player Wes Leonard.
And tonight at 7 o'clock, we invite you to join us for a special report, Wes Leonard, Never Forgotten.
To talk about the special and Wes's story, we have 24-hour News 8's Ken Kolker. And Ken, I know that you have been working with the school and the family and the community, in fact, very closely on this project. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's this half-hour special is going to be airing tonight, and it basically is telling the story of what has happened in Fenville, and it's a really sad story. I mean, I've got a 17-year-old son who's a junior in high school, and I can't imagine this happening. But beyond the sadness, there's also something really amazing that went on there, and we do a lot of negative stories in the media, about people doing bad things. And it's just been amazing to see what the community, how they've rallied, how the kids have rallied. I mean, so it's not only sad, but it's also really uplifting.
And I know that as his parents have gone through this tragedy, they've actually become such great role models themselves of how to help the entire family, especially the student body, cope with such unexpected tragedy.
I mean, they have been incredibly strong to show up at these basketball games after their son died, and it was not just for themselves, but it was for that team. I mean, these boys that they called their boys, who every night with them after Wes died, just to make sure that they weren't alone. And they showed up at the basketball games to show that those boys weren't alone. It was just really amazing. They're very strong. The Leonards are a really strong couple.
Yeah, so Ken, you and our sports director, Jack Doles, have kind of teamed up with a bunch of other people, but your faces primarily, and put together a half-hour special that's going to be airing tonight at a couple different times. What can people expect to see? Where do you go in the special?
Well, we really we talked to the Leonard family and about what this has meant and what the boys on that team meant to them. And we also went to the community to talk to people of Fenville and what this has meant to them. And it's a small town that was really tight-knit already. It was sort of like every Friday night, everyone would go to the basketball game or the football game. It was sort of like Friday Night Lights, but how this has even brought them closer together. So.
And he was such a great kid on all levels. I mean, the interviews that we saw right after his death and through the last couple of weeks, just what a good boy he was, what a young man he was turning into, and the loss this entire community must feel as a result of that.
His dad was talking about all the athletic ability, but he said the thing he was most proud of was how his son would open the door for girls or for women, and that was the thing that really made him the most proud.
A gentleman.
Yeah.
Well, it's such an honor to be able to talk about this. I mean, as a reporter that goes and you do some pretty hard-hitting investigative stories for our station, how did this differ? You said at the beginning of when we started talking, it hit home to begin with for you and your own family.
Tears usually don't well up in my eyes when I do these other kind of stories, but this one is really, there are so many times where it's so hard to talk to these people and what they're going through. And there are reporters I've overheard in the past who will say, go up to somebody grieving and say, I feel your pain. Well, there's no way you can feel their pain unless you've been through it yourself. And I still... But it's still, you can sort of feel it. I mean, you can feel it through them.
Right, and your heart is so heavy. And as a result of the work that you are doing, there's a special gift to every student that's coming as a result of the production of this special report. Would you tell everybody what we've decided to do as a station? Yeah,
we're burning this half-hour special onto discs, and we're going to be distributing to the kids in the school. We've talked to the school about that, and something for them, to remember this by. It's something, 20 years from now they could watch it, or.
Well, I had a close friend in high school pass away, and I say there's still often that I think about him too, and so that's wonderful to be able to have something to remember, this time and this experience. And so, when are we going to be able to see this special this evening?
It's at 7 tonight, and on Channel 8, and also on WXSP. It's, I believe, at 10:30.
10:30.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I am very much looking forward to seeing the journey of this community. And, you know, as you said, that sometimes we can be inspired, we can be challenged, and we can be uplifted by some of the most tragic things that can happen in life.
I think there was a natural curiosity after, you know, not only did this story really pique the interest of people in West Michigan, but on a national, even international level. And there's something to be said about the reason why.
Well, we were at a restaurant in Fenville, and they had said that a guy from South Bend had been up in Traverse City and was driving home to South Bend and went out of his way to stop at Fenville because he'd heard what was going on here. He just wanted to see what that community was all about, and I think that says a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for being with us today, and we're looking forward to seeing your special report this evening.
We'll be right back.